Damn, son, where'd you find this?
We make it look easy. Walk with your boys.
Damn, son, where'd you find this?
Okay, that's incredible.
AK-47s from Zastava seem to be the talking point around the water cooler recently in a lot of different YouTuber videos. There are, of course, some die-hard fans out there that say AK-47s are the best and they would never own an AR-15 if you paid them. And I think they are the exception, though. I don't feel like there are a lot of casual gun owners out there in the United States that choose to get an AK-47 over an AR-15. I believe it's a more sensible choice as far as it's concerned. At least here in the US, people will say that the manual of our operations is easy to understand. The availability increases that same stat. Most people are going to choose it. The guns themselves are in high demand, and the aftermarket support is super hard and core and far outweighs that of AK-47. You can put 1 million accessories on your AR-15 and people have, of course. The only thing that AK-47s have going for them is that they are decidedly bulletproof in the reputation department for reliability. The bulletproof they are. The only time I've ever seen one really act up on anybody's videos that I researched was Grand Thumb, and he was basically pouring mud directly into the receiver, into the open breech. So it's an interesting feeling holding an AK-47 compared to an AR-15. They are heavier, and they just kind of feel a little bit more like a weapon. ARs feel a bit plasticky, and I like the wood on my hands. I think most would agree that 7.62x3.9 is probably less accurate than 5.56. 5.56 travels faster, and I know I may get some anger in the comments about that, but you know, keep in mind and wait until I've said this. There are tons of benefits to 7.62, and the least of which is stopping power at distance. 5.56 breaks up on impact. Everybody knows that, and 7.62 hits with a more noticeable thud. What the AK lacks in accuracy, which is really only negligible, and some would argue, is that it makes up in firepower. So I'm not here to pit the AR-15 against the AK-47 today. Maybe that would be another video entirely, but I wanted to show you my experiences and tell you about my experiences with the Zastava ZPAPM70 that I bought. I picked up this rifle for $1,050 plus the transfer fees and everything like that. It's chambered in 7.62x3.9. It has a 16.5 inch barrel and has rosewood furniture. In the States, they require Zastava import these rifles, which they are imported from Serbia, and it's from a Serbian factory that's been around since 1853. If you're wondering what sort of chops this company has, these guys have been making AK-47s for militaries around the world since 1853. So they make them, import them with a welded barrel cap and a single stack magazine and a triangle handle like California style. It's a real mess, and then they make them go through a process to introduce them to the American market because nobody really wants that. So they have to Dremel out the magazine well and things like that to make them compatible with the 30-round magazines and make a bunch of other choices. I think there's a requirement about a certain number of parts that they must swap out. And interestingly, TFB TV recently did a video and showed that whole process from beginning to end, and is one of the reasons why I chose to go out and go ahead and get these. So in the end, after all that whole process, you have a very classic looking AK-47, way better looking than a lot of the AK-47s, which are just off in dimensions. And you don't have to look at it twice to know, okay, this is an AK-47 and this is a knockoff AK-47. But this one's classic. It's made overseas, it's completed in the US, and I don't need to tell you that there are a lot of positive reviews out there on YouTube about this rifle right now. At this point, I think it's safe to say that Zastava is second only to Arsenal as far as reputation is concerned. But Arsenals are super expensive, and interestingly, at the range today, in a real world perspective, from a consumer review, the guy at the range today said they had an Arsenal that had some problems after I mentioned they're supposed to be bulletproof. And so that was an interesting little tidbit there. I'll let you guys leave it in the comments below. However, I will say that personally, I've seen these Zastavas go up in price very steeply in the past, since December of last year, from somewhere around $750, $800, all the way up to, at this point, $1,050, which is what I paid. So what is my experience been like? So now let me go back and circle back a little bit. If you want to get one, I would go ahead and get one now before that price goes up, because a year from now it could be $1,300. So what has my experience been with the Zastava MP70? In one word, it's been perfect. It performs right up to its reputation, and I don't think I really need to harp too much about that. The rest is really the fit and finish, and the girl down at the range when I bought it said it was beautiful, and I couldn't agree more. It really is a looker right out of the box. It feels really good in the hands, way different than an AR. It's a lot heavier, a little bit tight on the safety, but I hear that's normal. And you can pry it, and after a while, that's not what I'm going to do. I'm going to let mine just kind of wear in naturally and just kind of force it to loosen up a little bit on its own. The sight looks a little bit off when you look at it, but looking down the sight and then shooting it, it's dead center. And Zastava did say that they shoot these before they leave the factory and basically sight them in essence to make sure that they're accurate. I'm happy with it, okay? It's a bit of a novelty to own. I understand that. But it is practical for Teotihuacan. I feel like the ammo is fairly prevalent, and you can get it for fairly inexpensive. But it's really cool as shit. Now, one of the things that I did get is I went out and got some steel magazines as well as some polymer magazines. So there's a little bit of difference there. These are SGM, I believe, and this is a Magpul. So a little bit different. I will say that these will kind of feel like that they'll cut your fingers a little bit on the steel ones when you're reloading it. So for that, I prefer the polymer, but the look-wise of the metal ones is way different. It's way better. And if I could find some plum ones or some orange ones, I would definitely go ahead and opt to get one of those. The sights kind of adjust like this, and it looks like it goes up to probably that's 100 yards. Don't quote me on that. It could be 1,000 yards, I guess, but you can adjust these sights like this. It's kind of cool on it. The way the safety works is when it's in safe, you can't pull this back. It can't fire. It can't go all the way back to shoot it. Okay, so you have to have this, and that frees it up. I told you it was a little tight. And then see, that frees it up to go all the way back. You can pull the charging in. Really nice action. Feels really good. Great looking wood. Everything looks really nice. One thing I noticed when I got home from the range today is it's a little bit loose here on the back. I don't know if that's something. I think I can take this off and probably tighten that up from the inside. So that's what I'll probably do, and I'll get back to you guys if that's all I need to do. You leave it in the comments if you know what I need to do on that. Other than that, I hear it's really easy to take apart and clean, which is going to be a different video, and we're going to go ahead and break it down a little bit more on this one. But very beautiful furniture. It comes with a little muzzle flash thing which shoots it out to one side One thing is that I notice is that this thing smokes a lot, gets really hot. You only want to touch it right here on the handle. So if you get your hand anywhere near this, this is going to burn you. It gets really hot, starts smoking a lot, and but it's very cool. Gotta recommend it. The trigger feels normal, doesn't feel bad to me. Again, this is from a consumer's viewpoint. I'm not going out and running competitions with this thing yet. I'm getting it and I'm shooting it, and it feels pretty good. Right out of the gate, can I recommend Zastava MP70? I sure can. Thanks for watching this video. Hope you liked it. Don't forget to check out my subscribe star down below, and hit the like video if you support this type of content. Thanks. I'll see you in the next one. This is time. Rampy.
Dang, son, where'd you find this? Damn, son, where'd you find this?
Zastava, it's in 762 by 39, and it's got the walnut furniture on it. They actually said it was Serbian rosewood, but I believe I actually got the walnut version. Maybe you guys can leave it in the comments and let me know if you see something different. I'm at a new range today. We're going to try it out and shoot this gun for the first time. Let's check it out. Thanks.